Today, we're going to start with an exercise. I'm going to ask everyone here to raise your hand for me. Now, raise it higher. Ask yourself, why didn't you give 100% the first time? Why don't we make that effort every time? It's how we perceive and understand adversity. This is me. When I was 8, my mom asked me if I wanted to try Taekwondo. She said if I didn't like it, I didn't have to go back. 20 push-ups, burpees, squats, kicking and punching for the very first time. My mom fully expected me to quit. But the discipline was new to me, and I was excited. It was hard, but equally fun. Fast forward to my 12th birthday, my instructor told me I was ready to start the challenge of preparing for my black belt test, which was a year away. One day, I felt a pain in my knees, but I ignored it. To shorten the story, when I finally saw my doctor, he told me to stop Taekwondo for a minimum of 6 months. Black belt tests have a majority of aspects, but they're primarily physical. So hearing I couldn't train for 6 months really hit me, and my test would be delayed. So I had a decision to make. Do I prepare for 4 months, delay my test so I can train for a year, or the last option, which sounded very appealing to me at the time, quit entirely? 7 years later, I got my black belt. It wasn't easy. It took time, effort, consistency, and resilience. But what made me consider giving up? It was overwhelming. I was facing adversity. So what is adversity? To me, adversity refers to the challenges embedded in our daily lives. But to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, adversity is a state of difficulty or misfortune. Have you ever had a test the very next day and realized you weren't prepared? I bet you're all thinking of a time right now, as am I. I'm also sure many of you decided to give in to this test, this predetermined endpoint, without bothering to review or study. But I'm also sure many of you started to prepare whatever you could in preparation for this test. This here is an example of adversity. We're choosing between what feels like an easier option and a harder one. What do you think when you see this? What we see is a child struggling to get clean water. You might be thinking, Kiyana, this test isn't real adversity, but this is. However, both are examples of adversity, but they are very different. Think of adversity as a scale. Both of these images show challenges, and no matter the difficulty, they are still examples of adversity. The Stanford Resilience Project explains that adversity comes in all forms, like minor setbacks from failing a test, to major life challenges like loss or systemic inequality. It disrupts our normal lives and demands resilience. You have been facing adversity your entire life. Do you remember learning how to walk? What about riding your bike? How about tying your shoelace? All of these are challenges we have faced in our lives. But let's look at the example of when we learned how to walk. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, indeed. It was normal to fall to get to where we needed to go. We were used to crawling, but we fell a lot, we bumped our heads, and we cried. I know I did. We got frustrated, but eventually we ended up learning how to walk. The adversity is not in learning these things. It's how you felt in these moments because the task was hard. Our idea of normal was disrupted, and we had to keep going. That is resilience. Let's go back to this example of a test tomorrow. Sure, we can acknowledge this test has a time restraint on it the next day, and walking did not. But I want you to all ask yourselves, what is the difference between these two challenges? Is it harder to recognize these as challenges? Psychology Today explains that reframing challenges is essential to resilience. People who see struggles as opportunities for growth instead of a setback experience greater long-term success. Instead of seeing my break from Taekwondo as a roadblock, I saw it as time to recover and prepare. I did physio, trained in whatever ways I could, and took my test in June without delay. What I'm trying to tell you all here is that your challenges are valid. Whether it's a test, an injury, or something larger, your adversity matters. The teenage brain is wired to learn and adapt, meaning that every challenge you face can add to your own resiliency. Your struggle is yours. Don't compare. Your friends' challenges might be different than yours, and that's okay. Research from the Resilience Project shows that acknowledging personal struggles leads to better emotional regulation and growth. You are not alone. Look at this visual. You have direct support, family, friends, teachers, community support, societal support. The Institute for Educational Initiatives found that strong support systems help adolescents turn adversity into growth. Adversity isn't the end of the road, it's a detour. Whether it's failing a test, recovering from an injury, or facing something much bigger, challenges don't define us. How we respond to them does. When we shift our mindset, when we stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones, we can move forward. Just like my black belt journey, adversity forces us to pause, rethink, and push forward in new ways. So, when you hit your next setback, ask yourself, is this my wall, or is it my push forward? Surround yourself with your circle of support, whether that's family, friends, mentors, or even online resources like the Institute for Educational Initiatives. Adversity will always be a part of your life, but with the right mindset, it doesn't have to hold you back. It can be the very thing that propels you forward. An endpoint is never an endpoint. It's the beginning of something new. Thank you.